All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into the incredibly powerful wisdom of Alfred Adler. He was one of the true pioneers of psychology, and his work isn't just theory. It's a practical roadmap for changing your life. Think of it as a guide to creating your very own masterpiece.
So let's just jump right in with a question that I think we've all asked ourselves at some point. Have you ever had that nagging feeling that you're just not quite enough? That you're falling short somehow? Well, if you have, you are definitely not alone. According to Adler, this isn't some personal weakness, it's a universal human experience.
In fact, Adler completely flips the script on this one. He says that feeling isn't a flaw to be fixed. It's actually our starting point. It's the very engine that gets our whole journey of growth and development going in the first place. So let's begin right there, at that starting point. Let's talk about this universal feeling that Adler gave a very specific name to. He called it the feeling of inferiority. Now, I know that sounds a little heavy, but it's not a clinical diagnosis or anything like that. It's a totally natural thing that starts when we're kids. You know, when we're little, we're completely helpless and dependent on others, and that's where this feeling is born. But here's the crucial part. It's not meant to be a life sentence. It's supposed to be the rocket fuel that pushes us to learn, to grow, and to overcome challenges. So that feeling, it lights a fire in all of us. It kicks off this powerful core drive. But that drive leads us to a fork in the road, and it presents us with a really critical choice about how we're going to move forward in life. Adler called this drive the striving for superiority. And okay, that term can sound a little aggressive, right? But what he meant was very specific. It's not about being better than other people. It's about our natural desire to improve ourselves, to move from what he called a minus situation to a plus one. It's just a healthy human drive to get better. And this is that fork in the road. On one path, you've got healthy striving. That's when you focus on your own personal growth and on how you can contribute. But on the other path, you can get something totally different, the superiority complex. You know, that person who acts all arrogant and has to put others down? Adler would say that's just a mask to hide a deep feeling of insecurity. And this really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? The real goal isn't to win some kind of cosmic competition against everybody else. Nope. The only person you're trying to be better than is the person you were yesterday. It's all about your own personal journey. So, if we're all striving to be better, how do we make sure we stay on that healthy, constructive path? Well, for that, we're going to need a compass. For Adler, that compass is something he called social interest. And this was a huge deal for him. He believed it was the absolute key to being psychologically healthy. It's our built-in ability to see ourselves as part of the human team, to connect with people, and to find real meaning in contributing to something bigger than ourselves. He actually argued that a lack of social interest is at the root of most of our problems.
And social interest isn't just some abstract idea. You see it in action all the time. It's that moment of empathy you feel for a friend. It's choosing to cooperate on a project at work instead of just trying to shine on your own. It's that genuinely good feeling you get when you help someone out. It's all about weaving your own well-being into the well-being of the community. Okay, so we've got our starting point, our engine, and our compass. Now let's get really practical. Adler's psychology gives us this fantastic toolkit that we can actually use on our journey. We're going to dive into 3 of his most powerful tools: the amazing power of encouragement, the idea of designing your own lifestyle, and this one's really cool, how to understand the secrets hidden in your own memories. First up is encouragement. Adler made the super important distinction between encouragement and praise. See, praise usually focuses on the result, like, you got an A, you're so smart. But encouragement focuses on the effort and the process, like, I saw how hard you worked on that. That little shift is huge because it builds strength on the inside, a real resilience, instead of just making you dependent on getting that next gold star. Tool number 2 is about designing your lifestyle. Now, Adler isn't talking about what kind of car you drive. Your lifestyle is your unique, personal blueprint for navigating the world, your patterns of thinking, feeling, and acting. And sure, these patterns get set pretty early in life. But here is the empowering part. They are not set in stone. Once you become aware of your patterns, you get to consciously choose new ones that actually work better for you. And our third tool is absolutely fascinating. It's about understanding your earliest memories. Adler believed that the memories you have from early childhood aren't just random snapshots. We hang on to those specific memories because they perfectly reinforce our core beliefs about ourselves and the world. It's like having a secret window into your own personal operating system. And once you can see the code, you have the chance to rewrite it.
Now, for a quick, fun aside, let's talk about one of Adler's most famous ideas, birth order. He was one of the first to say that where you fall in your family kind of shapes your personality. Firstborns tend to be leaders, middle children are the negotiators, and so on. Of course, these are just tendencies, not destiny, but it's another really interesting lens for understanding ourselves. So, how does all of this come together? We've got our tools, we've got our compass. Where are we headed? Well, now we can talk about the destination, creating your life's masterpiece. I think this quote just captures the whole spirit of it perfectly. This isn't about following a strict set of rules. It is a creative act. You are the artist and your life is the canvas. You have the power, right now, to actively shape who you are and who you want to become. So what does this creative process actually look like? Well, we can break it down into 4 steps that just keep repeating. First, you define your vision. What does a meaningful, connected life look like for you? Second, you have to take action. And these don't have to be huge leaps, just small, consistent steps. Third, you learn from challenges. For Adler, obstacles aren't failures, they're just feedback. They show you where you need to adjust. And finally, you just keep refining your work. This isn't a project you finish one day, it's a dynamic, lifelong process. And here's the most crucial part of all. Your masterpiece is uniquely yours. It's not supposed to be a copy of anyone else's life. It is the dynamic, always evolving expression of your most authentic, purposeful self. It's a living work of art. So this journey from feeling not enough all the way to becoming the creator of your own life, it's right there for the taking. And that leaves us with one last, really powerful question to think about. On the canvas of your life, what is the very first brush stroke you're going to make? That's all for this explainer.